As the new year progresses, the Colonial Athletic Association remains united for change. Around the league, various institutions have taken the initiative to hire personnel to lead the charge in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We spoke with two associate athletic directors, Lisa Markland and Dr. Christopher Brown, on seeking to make an impact throughout the Northeastern and Delaware campuses.
Thanks so much, Carly. I couldn't be more excited to take on this role as Senior Associate AD for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion at the University of Delaware. You know, when I started in college athletics well over a decade ago, people weren't talking about diversity, equity, inclusion. You had a few folks vocalizing the importance of DEI, but it wasn't something that was really wide range viewed as an important concept of athletics. But as we think about university settings, in particular, when you look at the diversity of a lot of university campuses, a lot of that is coming from your university's athletics department and athletic programs.
Lisa, you've been a student athlete at Northeastern. You know what it's like to lace up in that Husky uniform. So how rewarding is it for you to pour back into your alma mater in such a way as this?
I feel honored. Northeastern gives. I've gotten just as much as from Northeastern as they've given to me. And so for this opportunity now to be in the opposite position, such as this one, which is, I think, such an integral position in athletics of today, and how our athletes, locally and around the country are viewing themselves as more than just athletes, but these topics that we're having, nationally are so important to them. And so for me, I just feel honored and humbled, truly humbled, to be the person who will impact their student athlete experience at Northeastern.
For those individual relationships that you're going to have with these student athletes, how excited are you to really lay a foundation and make impact?
That's it. The one thing that's been on my mind is not necessarily the big picture change, but the more individualistic entry-level kind of work. So getting to campus, getting to know our scholar athletes, making sure that they know that I'm available, whether it's just for a quick venting session, if they want to talk about what's going on in classes, what's going on campus, whatever our student athletes want to talk about, I'm going to be pumped to be there for them.
The day in and day out work, how truly important is what you're doing?
The biggest rewarded for me has been the athletes coming into my office and just being able to talk to them and give them the opportunity to say that your voice matters.
This work is extremely important in making sure that we make sure our student athletes, our coaches and staff not only feel a part of the athletics department, but feel a part of the university setting in its entirety. And the coolest part about this work is that if you think about sport, it's always been that area where if you can play, you can play. It's been that meritocracy where talent should win over anything else. And so the opportunity to combine this sort of environment where it's about your talent, your work ethic, things of that nature, with the work that needs to be done from a diversity, equity, inclusion standpoint is extremely important. We get the opportunity to move the needle for everyone involved at the University of Delaware's campus.
And if you could even put this into words, what would your hope be? What would your goal be to see come into fruition here at Northeastern amongst the student body, but also within staff that you're working with on a daily basis?
Yeah, I think my mission, my goal is that collectively, that the athletic department at Northeastern, and let me be very clear about this, I think I work with some wonderful people and some really good-hearted people. But along that journey, sometimes we have blind spots, and it's not intentional, but they're just blind spots, things that we don't see. And I'm hoping that, my time here, I help create a culture where we are not afraid to admit where we may be not necessarily on the right track, or we have some blind spots, and to have some self-reflection.
Things are always evolving. So are we taking the time to constantly be thinking about DEI within all of our programs and the systems that we have in place? And so it's really multifaceted, but it's really that individual approach, changing the thinking of those who are currently at the university, and then also making sure that we're making those changes within our policies and procedures and the more structural changes that need to happen.
My hope is that our athletes truly believe the mission of Northeastern Athletics, and Northeastern as a whole, is that we want to create a culture of true inclusivity, and that each and every one of our athletes that come through the door truly feel that, no matter who they're speaking to, from staff, administration, coaches, that they know that that is the environment that they truly are in, and we embody that and give that to them. So I'm hoping that is my ultimate dream and goal, is that we really do create a culture that we don't just speak about it, but we live it.
Thank you to the student athletes and staff around the conference who day in and day out continue to make lasting change that reaches far beyond the game. Your work and dedication is appreciated and needed.